Just remember, it will get better.
You know when you hear that sound, it's that time of the morning. And of course, it's a beautiful Monday morning. We want to welcome you to our program. Final Decision. We are here again.
Usain Bolt shocked the world in the Beijing Olympics in 2008.
And by now,
4 years
I am Mark
later
Beaton
in
from
London,
the Garden of
after
Paradise
losing
Funeral
in the
Home.
national
Thank
championships,
you so very much
going
for
through
tuning
injuries.
in.
Many
Our
persons were
loyal
not
listeners.
expecting
So
Usain Bolt
those who are
to
just coming
repeat
on,
his
welcome.
performance from
To
4
those
years
who are
before.
joining
The
via
men's
the YouTube
100
feed,
meters final.
Welcome, and for those by the Exodus and Garden of Paradise platforms, I want to welcome you also to the program.
Oh, they're away, and Gatlin got away brilliantly, and he's ahead of the field at the moment, and Bolt going very near. Comes Usain Bolt! Usain Bolt storming through, he takes it again, Blake gets the silver, 9.64! Oh, he's retained his title in the most emphatic way. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Usain Bolt of Jamaica is the fastest man on the planet. 9.63. A superb demonstration of power sprinting.
Yeah, we thank you for calling
What
us off
a
here and
performance
express your
that
views,
was.
but don't be shy.
Gatlin
The number is
attacked early,
876
but Bolt got into his
8117.
running really. It was
got
an
more
unbelievable
impact
run.
when you
And
call the
Blake,
program
I
live.
think, got the silver he did, and Gatlin got the bronze. But Jamaica won and two, a reversal of the result in the Jamaican trials earlier on this year. But my goodness me, there's Gatlin
Whilst we are here,
getting his celebration. He couldn't beat these two. They
It's
promised and they
like,
delivered.
some callers were very excited,
yes,
knowing that they can reflect back on those days when they used to pass by your home that the cops was, you know what I mean? And actually look at that, and it brings back so much memories, you know what I mean?
Mr. Green, a couple of months ago, we touched on removal. Who should do removal, when, and what are the conditions for a government autopsy as opposed to a private autopsy. And on Thursday, Friday, and I shared this with you. I got a call from an individual who somebody from the community died at home last weekend, and the remains were not discovered until about Monday. And the police came on the scene, and the gentleman who they interacted with, he called me, and what he was explaining to me was that the human remains appeared to be there at least 2 or 3 days based on the condition, and he was advised by the police, and I asked him a couple of times. He even gave me the name of the police and the station, so I don't doubt that what he was saying was true. And what he explained was that the police told him that there needed to be an autopsy, and the autopsy would cost $45,000. The autopsy would cost $45,000, and he could have it done in a couple of days. For me, that is worrying.
Yeah.
For me, that is worrying.
So the police is telling the family that they have to pay for the autopsy.
As a matter of fact, it's not even the family. The person that died, it was from the community. It was a community member who, through the kindness of his heart, decided that he's going to take it upon himself, along with a particular church, to ensure that, the person has a decent burial. And they were told by the police that the autopsy would cost $45,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the gentleman called because they listened to the program, and they wanted clarity because they remember that we spoke about this some time ago, and he wanted clarity on the matter. Now, listeners, I want to be very clear, and you can quote me on this, where there are instances such as this, where individuals die at home or wherever, not in the hospital, but dies somewhere, and the body or the human remains is discovered a few days after. The procedure is that once the police is called, the services of the government contracted funeral home will be engaged. Now, this is a case for investigation and for the investigators. This is a government-run case. The police must do their investigation to ensure that there is nothing untoward in relation to the cause of death. Then, on a date that is determined or that is agreed, the forensic department, the government forensic department, will advise the investigating officer of the day of the autopsy, or the same thing we call postmortem in Jamaica. The postmortem examination. They will be advised of that date, and then the investigating officer will then relate to the next of kin, the family member, whoever it is that they have, they were in contact with in relation to this death. They will inform that person or those persons of the date of the autopsy. Now, on the day of the autopsy, the next of kin will go to the place where the government contracted funeral home is, do the registration, and the procedure is carried out. Now, if the family wishes to have the government contracted funeral home takes care of the funeral arrangement, no problem. If the family wishes to have another funeral home takes care of the arrangement, then that funeral home will be advised of the day of autopsy by the relative, and on the day of the autopsy, the funeral home representative will be there to collect the human remains. Absolutely under no situation or circumstance in relation to this should the family, should the next of kin, should anyone in relation to this deceased be asked to pay any fee, any charges for anything at all. All of this is completely free to the family member. Removal, storage up to the date of autopsy, and the autopsy examination. All these costs are borne by the Jamaican government.
Very interested, Mr. Maitland. So what I want to know, I would like to, find out if it is the police will be collecting for that post-mortem, or the facility that holds the human remains.
I really don't know, Mr. Green. But what I do know is this: it is very unfortunate, it is very distasteful, and more than that, it is very dishonest. And
the thing about it, family, because they are grieving,
right,
and because of the condition,
right,
that their loved one is in, right, they get panic and they'll just do anything that they hear.
Yeah, because they want to get the procedure done as soon
as possible.
Because nobody likes the fact that your relative is in a relative state of decomposition, so you want to get everything out of the way as soon as possible. So whatever you're told, especially through that avenue, somebody, some official who you trust, you're gonna go with it. But the good thing is that the gentleman listens to the program.
I am very happy for that. I am very happy. And my good friend, if you are there this morning, listen to us on here, I am encouraging the content, listen to us and invite other persons,
right,
to come on board and listen to us.
I went as far as to say to him that, because the police told him to come back Monday morning. So I went as far as to say to him, if you go there Monday morning and you are still being told about any charge, call my number and put me on speaker. I will talk to the police in your presence. It is heartbreaking when persons are grieving and you're adding to the grief.
Where is the love?
In this way.
Where is the love that we're supposed to have for each other? Protecting each other. Help each other to be better.
Right.
Help each other to get past a situation. That situation of discomfort, you know what I mean? Help them to get over their pain. Make them feel like,
But Mr. Green,
wow.
This thing, when a gentleman spoke with me, I had to really be patient with him, go through the procedure with him slowly, because I could not believe that in a situation like this, the police was telling him that he needed to pay a fee for the autopsy to be done, and it could be done in X days. The gentleman went as far as to say to me, wanted to know what is the cost so for another pathologist to do it. And I had to explain to him over and over that in this situation, there's no way a private autopsy can be done.
Yeah, no, nobody else can involve.
No way. No one else can be involved in it. No other funeral home, no other pathologist. It has to go through the channels of going through the government contracted funeral home and the forensic department here in Jamaica.
Wow.
It is just,
yeah, man.
I don't even know what to say.
We need to talk to someone from the authority still, because, this is happening right across Jamaica.
Right across.
So we really need to, talk to somebody from the authority so they can come in here and explain how the situation, how it works. We have been trying our best.
We have been trying.
Right, to, inform the public at large, as to what's supposed to happen and what not to happen. So I'm very happy that this gentleman, take time out to inform us of the situation so we can help him to get past that, and to make sure the right thing happen so he can save back his money in his pocket.
Right.
Because it's not supposed to be paid for.
No, it's not supposed to happen. And in all situations, listeners, in all situations where
you know what I don't like, Mr. Maitland, about us as Jamaica, and a lot of things has been probably need to stop, this eat a food thing.
The mentality.
The mentality there. I don't even like the word hustling mentality either, because, everybody's like, they just want to eat a food. They want to make a thing. And when you talk, when they try to defend people, and talk the right thing, a man say, I try to stop him food, right. And you try to fight against him, you have to start to have security.
Right.
You understand? To protect you, by trying to protect other people.
Because I look at it and I'm saying to myself, so a police officer is willing to give up her job for $45,000. That makes sense? You're knowing full well that there's no way you can have this done except through the channels that it is supposed to be done. You're really going to take $45,000 from somebody?
Give up a job for that?
Just for $45,000? That makes sense?
Come on, Jamaican people.
Let me reiterate.
Let us protect each other.
Let me reiterate. Whenever the police comes on a scene of death and the government contracted funeral home is called, if it's a situation that there is a straight case, a person died at home this morning and the police comes and the police say, all right, we're going to contact the government contracted funeral home. You find out from the police, do you have an interest in the case? They say, no, they don't have an interest in the case. You have 48 hours. The day that the removal is done and the following day. So you have those 2 days to work with. In these situations, the police must provide you with a release letter to take to the government contracted funeral home so you can transfer your loved ones to the funeral home that you wish to use. In another situation, for example, like this, where the person has died for a number of days and an autopsy must be done.
Must be done.
The government contracted funeral home is called and there is no charge to you for removal, storage, nor the autopsy. No charge whatsoever. So you don't pay the contracted funeral home.
You'll not even be privileged to even view the body before the autopsy.
No, you won't. Viewing takes place on the day
of the autopsy. So is there a case that where the funeral home?
It's not even viewing, Mr. Green. It's not even viewing. It's identification. So it's not viewing. It's not like everybody can come and view. It's identification. But we're gonna slide into a break now, and we'll conclude this discussion on the other end of the break.
It will get better. Won't last forever. Won't last forever.
The time brought to you by the Manchester Corp Credit Union 1977 Limited Property Loan, telephone 876-962-0401 is 11:45.
So refreshing. What's so refreshing, Sonia? The water is refreshing. Try it now. Where you get that from? Not clean manufacturing water. So refreshing. Me like it. Clean water Located at 20 Syndham Commercial, Old Harbour, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Telephone number 876-335-0448 or 876-648-7192 or email cleanconcept@gmail.com.
Get quality cars from Acorn Sales Auto Limited, located at Lot 53 West Tradeway, Portmore Town Center. Need a car from Japan or United Kingdom or special order? Call 876-616-4777 or WhatsApp 876-333-5555. They assist with registration, transfer, and license. Just visit Acorn Sales Auto at Lot 53 West Tradeway, Portmore Town Center for quality cars at competitive prices.
It will get better. It will get better. Won't last forever. Won't last forever. And if you try.
Usain Bolt shocked the world in the Beijing Olympics in 2008. 4 years later in London, after losing in the national championships, going through injuries, many persons were not expecting Usain Bolt to repeat his performance from 4 years before. The men's 100
Errol Green from Exodus Funeral Home.
And we are here every Monday and Thursday at this time.
On their way, and Gatlin got away brilliantly, and he's ahead of the field at the moment, and Bolt going very, and here comes Usain Bolt! Usain Bolt storming through, he takes it again, Blake gets the silver, 9.64! Oh, he's retained his title in the most emphatic way! Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant! Usain Bolt of Jamaica is the fastest man on the planet. 9.63! A superb demonstration of power sprinting. What a performance that was. Gatlin attacked early, but Bolt got into his running, really. It was an unbelievable run. And Blake, I think, got the silver, he did, and Gatlin got the bronze. But Jamaica 1 and 2, a reversal of the result in the Jamaican trials earlier on this year. But my goodness me, there's Gatlin getting his celebration. He couldn't beat these two. They promised and they delivered.
Continue to make things look bad on the floor.
Do the right thing.
Please, man, just
The police, Mr. Maitland, they know exactly what to do. They know their part that they have to play in this.
Yeah, man, and the few persons there that you know drag down the reputation of the force. Come on, man. Police have life hard as is. Don't add to it. So when persons are going through grief, do your best to help them. You know, to have things easier. Don't add to the stress. Friends, again, when a loved one passes or the remains is discovered, the situation is that the police must be called when it is realized that the person has died a few days before the discovery is done. The government contracted funeral home must be engaged. There's no two ways about it. You can't call any other funeral home. The police must call the government contracted funeral home. So don't argue with the police. The government contracted funeral home must be called. And then there's a process. There's no shortcut. There's no quick way. It's a process. Your loved one is not the only one that is at the facility and needs an autopsy done. So basically, they're going to be joining a line. The procedure is the date for the autopsy is determined by the forensic department. It is communicated to the investigating officer. The investigating officer will then communicate to you, the relative, and then you'll be informed when the date of the autopsy is to be done. If you have desire to use another funeral home, then you inform that funeral home and they will accompany you to the autopsy and they will do the removal, and then you can, continue with the services of the funeral home.
And I also want to add to that, Mr. Maitland, by informing the families that when the police come and do their thing, if you're not sure, right, about what they are saying, if you're not clear on what they are saying, you can contact your funeral provider.
And you can even contact the police station.
I contact the police station, or you can call us. Mm-hmm. Call us. And we are here to give you guidance because Just like all this caller would take time out and call us to make sure, they are doing the right thing, I'll advise you to do the same. I'm not saying that the police they are doing the wrong thing,
No.
Right?
No, that's
right?
Exactly. So, we're not saying that.
So, and we're not here to bash anybody. But we're just saying that if you do not understand how it works, and you want clarity, feel free to call your federal provider.
I just want to recognize a listener, Natty Patty. He's telling us good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Natty.
Yes, man. Thank you very much for tuning in and for being a part of the program. We really do value your time and your listenership. Well, Mr. Green, we had to segue from the intended plan today to discuss this.
Right.
But if that's what it takes to provide clarity, then we are prepared to step back now and then to go back and to provide the information that is required. And this is something that a grieving family had to sort out. And they needed assurance. And so we really had to discuss this issue this morning. Listeners, I don't want you to leave thinking that, boy, every time we interact with the police like that, we have to be on our P's and Q's. No, man. We give you the information. So you just ask. The first question to ask is, does the police have an interest in the case? If the police say yes, they have an interest in the case, then you know that there's going to be a waiting period because there's going to be a government autopsy to be done. If the police say no, they don't have an interest in the case, then the next move is to ask how soon you can collect the release.
Yes, Mr. Min, I'm very glad that you bring up that point because I've seen instances where the police declare to the family that they have an interest in the case, right? And 2 weeks down the road, it was said to the family that they do not have an interest in the case anymore.
Wow.
You understand? I have seen cases like those.
Wow.
More than one, more than two, more than three, several times.
No,
and it cost the family.
No, that's a big blow.
It cost the family.
That's a big blow. What we may need the families to do where there is an expression of this nature. Nothing beats writing, Mr. Green. Nothing beats black and white, So let us not take anything for granted. The police say to you they have an interest in the case. You have the police station. You just visit the station, get the document to say, all right, the case in relation to Mr. X who passed or Mrs. X who passed out when the police has an interest in the case and a government autopsy is considered. So when you have that in writing, that takes care of everything.
Yeah, because if when the police go back and say they have no interest in the case, remember, the government contracted funeral home,
will charge.
Will charge
for storage.
And the charges they are not a little bit of money.
No,
it's a lot of money.
No, it's not.
Right. So I just want. It's sad to say, but when you have a death in your family, just act speedily.
Yeah.
You have to act speedily. You understand?
And get clarity on everything.
And get clarity on everything.
So the same way, if they don't have an interest in the case, you want a release letter. You go to the station to get a release letter. If the police say that they have an interest in the case, you go to the same station to get something in writing to say, all right, this is what the procedure will be. And in writing, you'll get that, boy. But the autopsy will be done.
Because one thing,
this is the
if the police say they have an interest in the case, the family is going to be rest at peace, waiting for that call.
Waiting for the investigation.
Right? So when the family check back and say, oh, me not getting a call.
Right.
Then the police said, well, you have to go do a private postmortem. And not explaining to them that.
Again, I don't even want to go into that too much. More than just to say, listeners, nothing beats having the thing documented. Nothing beats having it in black and white. And for clarity, ask. You are the one with the situation. Ask. So if they say yes, they have an interest in the case, then you get it
in writing
to say there's an interest, there'll be an autopsy, you'll be contacted by this investigating officer at the time of the autopsy. So when you have that in writing, if down the road there's no longer an interest, then the government will have to pay for storage up to that time. All right?
Yeah, because if the police come and take a statement, right? And they must have to document it that they have an interest.
It has to be documented.
You understand?
It has, and the investigating officer will provide his or her name. So all of this will be undocumented to get that. There's an interest. Mr. Maitland Corporal Maitland is the investigating officer, and you'll be contacted in relation to the date of the autopsy.
Yeah, because even if the funeral home is present at the scene, the funeral home cannot do nothing. They have to just take their leave because the police is in charge right there.
And the situation is that whatever the police decides at the time, based on what they see, takes precedence over everything else. So, only thing you can do as family, do your follow-ups. As Mr. Green said, don't take anything for granted. Ensure that you do your follow-ups and you deal with things as urgently as is possible. No, where there's a clear case that is going to be an autopsy situation, you're going to have to wait on the date.
Yeah.
And again, it does not hurt for you to seek clarity from your funeral home. Always. This is why you have this. Listen, you don't just have a funeral director because you like the name of the funeral home, Your funeral director is supposed to help you and to help make your life easier and to help ease the burden of grief. So whoever your service provider is, contact those individuals and say, all right, then this is the situation. This is what we are being told. We want to use your services. Is it so?
Right.
Your funeral director will guide you. Listen, we have brilliant funeral directors in Jamaica.
But Mr. Maitland, I like the name of your funeral home.
Go again?
I like the name of your funeral home.
Garden of Paradise. Yeah, but
it's a very nice name.
But then,
what is the name? It's so suggestive.
But individuals, disagree for whatever reason. Individuals always have persons they want to work with,
Right.
And no matter who comes along, that's who they are working with.
Right.
So I'm saying, and you see Jamaica, this thing called Die Hard. It's not only politics,
Mm-hmm.
Jamaicans die hard to everything, even with tin mackerel.
Yeah, man.
There are certain people where just one tin mackerel they buy, one brand, and that's how we are.
They don't want to say another brand.
Yeah. So I'm saying to you, whatever or whoever it is.
I think we have to wrap up, Mr. Maitland. Time is going on us. But Mr. Maitland, before we wrap up, realize we are not a burial space in Jamaica, my brother.
Hey, that's another issue, man. But we talk about that.
They can't find space to. And we have so much land, don't we?
We'll talk about that. But you see, when having that conversation,
somebody give me some land. Somebody give me some land, please.
You see, when we're having that conversation,
so we can make space to bury your loved one. So if you have some land, you don't want to use it,
you don't know how to use it.
Yes.
Talk to us.
Yeah, give it to us. Give it to us.
You don't have to give it to us. Talk to us about it, and we'll show you how to utilize the land. Mr. Green, when we're having that discussion, I don't want it to be just me and you. I want somebody from the local government authority to be here, whether on the phone or with us live. So, because I know that's one of the days that callers going to have questions, and I don't want for those who have the answers to provide the answers. But as Mr. Green said, if you have some acres, man, I don't know what to do with it, man, call us and talk to us.
Yeah, man.
Call us and talk to us.
100 acres could serve us for next 2 generations, know
next
that?
2 generations.
Right.
Yeah. And you won't have to complain about being broke again. So, listeners, thank you so very much for being here. That's a light note on which to end. Despite the way the discussion turned, we thank you for your time. We thank you so much for your listenership, and we thank you for spreading the word. This has been another program. It will get better because it came to pass. I am Mark Maitland.
Errol Green from Exodus Funeral Home. Thank you very much.
And this has been a program, Final Decision. Catch you again on Thursday, where we will have a very, 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 very interesting discussion, something that listeners will really want to know and be in tune to. Catch you on Thursday.
It will get better.